You've discovered Boldur, the dwarf Pokemon. Hey guys, welcome to first in a new series of Battleborn gaming videos on my channel. Right there you just see me choose the right trigger. Now there's a reason for that. I'm doing a review on Boldur, a little bit of a learn tips and tricks kind of thing, how I do things and why. On Boldur, this is going to be a new thing I'm going to try to do with every single character and make a series out of that, since I don't see many videos like that. Now, that right trigger I was talking about when you're on your first helix, you want to get that because it gives you an overshield whenever you use your Boldur dash, your left bumper. And later on you can get a knock up to add to that, so you can go through people, knock them up, and get an overshield. Very good for initiating. And as far as items go, I usually try to build for health and health per second or regen. And the reason I do that is because Boldur already has a crap ton of health, and the only shield he gets is a little bit of an overshield from his Boldur dash. So you really need the extra hit points and the regen so that it keeps you in the fight longer, and it lets you recover quicker when you have to back up. Now that being said, in team fights, whenever you don't back up, you always want to instigate. Like I said, with your Boldur dash, it's a good way. Another good way, sometimes it's good to chain them together, but another good way is to hit the squishiest, closest damage dealer to you with your axe throw, your right bumper. Later on, you can get a bleed effect on that will actually drain their health. So that's really good, having that dot on them. And if you can get a critical hit with that, it's even better. So yeah, you want to try to take out one of the damage dealers, at least make them think twice about being in the fight. And as soon as you do that, you want to body block, and you want to keep your healer alive as long as possible. You want him to live as long as you or longer. You don't ever want him to die before you, otherwise you're not doing your job as a tank. You're not taking enough attention off of him. Now, that being said, you want to also do the same thing with your damage. However, it's not quite as much emphasis. Whenever you're playing, you don't give your damage nearly as much attention as you do your healer, because as long as your healer's alive, you're alive. Your damage, however, you really need them too as Boldur, because you really don't do much damage. You're just really good at disrupting people and instigating fights and crowd control, controlling an area and not leaving. So yeah, you really need to try to keep your damage alive as long as possible too. That being said, I typically go and save the DPSs that are in trouble with the highest survivability first. Like the ones that do a lot of damage and they live a long time anyway. I always try to keep the heat off of them right after the healer. I'm on their ass guarding them. And then after that, you keep that, you know, in condescending order. you go down, you know. And so anyway, that's about all I got for that. For team fighting. You know, you want to keep your DPS alive. The ones that have high survivability, keep them alive longer, because then you have damage going longer. You have your heals, so you're not dying. You have constant damage. That's the idea there. Next, with shields and turrets with Boldur, the only things you really want to focus on, besides playing the roles I just mentioned as a tank, of course you're going to find different tips and, you know, different tricks and shit to do these things besides my tips. But, all you need to focus on is the mid turret and your gear. Once you get your gear, you can focus on more than just mid turret. But you also want to save up your crystals, so that way at any point, if mid turret gets knocked down or if you take it, you can upgrade it full. It's no good to you if it's not full in late game, especially as Boldur. You need that shit. You need that AoE from that chain. Yeah, so try to refrain from buying anything except for mid turret if necessary. Try to avoid buying that. If your teammates are spending shards on it, don't bother. But buy that if you have to. But get your gear. Save for your gear. Don't buy it if you can't buy your gear. Like, you have to get that gear. That's going to make you or break you as Boldur. How fast you can get your full build. Yeah, other than that, Boldur's a very good tanky character. He's a little unorthodox compared to the other tanks, but overall I like him. Some upcoming characters are probably going to be Reyna, Miko, Caldarius. I'm probably going to do next. I'm really going to enjoy those. 3 of my mains. And like I said, I'm going to try to get through all the characters, and hopefully this series helps some people, because there's not many videos on YouTube like this. So yeah, that's all for now, and I'll see you guys on episode 2.